भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। ॐ सदाशिवसमारम्भां शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्परां। श्रुतिस्मृतिपुराणानाम् आलयं करुणालयं नमामि भगवत्पादं शङ्करं लोकशङ्करं। शङ्करं शङ्कराचार्यं केशवं बादरायणं सूत्रभाष्यकृतौ वन्दे भगवन्तौ पुनः पुनः। समस्तजनकल्याणे निरतं करुणामयं नमामि चिन्मयं देवं सद्गुरुं ब्रह्मविद्वरम्। We will chant the Shanti mantra. Now we have given this printout to all of you. Those who are seeing on webinar can see this. So only this mantra we will learn in the Vedic way. The rest of it we will chant in the usual normal tune which we have been chanting. But I have given you this so that I will be putting up the Vedic chanting of Ishavasya Upanishad on the Google Drive. So if anybody wants to learn, you please learn. Because what happens is, here you will learn this Vedic chanting. Elsewhere you will go, they will not chant in Vedic chanting. Then you will get confused. So I am not chanting. Even in the Chinmaya mission everywhere, Upanishads are not chanted in the Vedic way. So then not to create more confusion. But we should know, okay, this is the way it is and this is how it is chanted. So one Vedic chanting of this I will put up. But this is very simple. Shanti mantra Vedic chanting is very simple, so that we can learn. That is not very complicated. So in Vedic chanting there are 3 notes generally. If you will see a horizontal line below, so that is called Anudatta, meaning it has to be one pitch, one swara lower than the normal tune, normal pitch. Then you will see one vertical line above, that is Udatta. That means one swara higher. And if there are 2 vertical lines, then that is to be elongated. So in Sahana Vavatu we say Tejasvinavadhitamastu ma vidvishavahai. So above hai there will be 2 lines. So we elongate that vowel. In Purnamada there are no 2 lines anywhere. So we do not say Purnaat, because above Ana there is no 2 lines. All the swaras are either Swarit. Swarit is the normal. Anudatta is horizontal line, 1 swara below. Udatta, vertical line above, 1 swara above. It is very simple. Wherever you see a horizontal line, meaning take it below. Wherever you see vertical line, take that swara above. So now repeat this. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate. So this whole line together. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate. Purnasya Purnamadaya पूर्णमेवावशिष्यते. Together this line. Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shantihi. Okay, so one thing we should know in Vedic chanting is there are different ways of faulty chanting. Okay, one way of faulty chanting is moving the hand up and down. So they will say, as the swara goes down, their hand will go down. Swara goes up, hand will go up. Traditionally, that should not happen. And then there are some people whose head will go up and down. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate. Or it will go up. Om Sahana Vavatu Sahanau Bhunaktu. You will get spondylitis. I am warning you. Do like this, like this, like this. Don't. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Shirakkampi they are called. You should not be Shirakkampi. You should not shake the head. Vedic chanting, no shaking hand, no shaking head. Just plain. Om Purnamada Purnamidam. Together, let's do full. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate. Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shantihi. So this is the famous Shanti mantra, Purnamada. Last time we saw the meaning of this. Now, little more we will see. So this Purnamadaha, what does that Purnamadaha mean? That is Purnam. And Purnamidam means this is Purnam. So that is Purnam and this is Purnam. We saw why both are Purnam. The cause is Purnam, is infinite, and the whole universe also is infinite. And it does not mean there are two infinites. There is one appearing as the other. Now this has a very, very practical application also in daily life, which today has become very famous. And what is that? That is a 4 quadrants thing. I am not okay. Everything is okay. Everything out is okay. Meaning, I am not Purnam, everything else is Purnam. What is the result of this type of a feeling? Inferiority complex, victimization. So if I say that I am not okay, everybody's life is so good, people are so happy, progressing, prospering, my life, look at it, how miserable, how sad, how terrible. So if I am not okay, but everything else around is okay, people are doing well, so what do I feel? Bhagavan is partial with me, or life is not good, you know. Now if this goes on, what will happen? I am not okay, everything else also is not okay. Then what happens? Suicidal tendencies. I don't want to live. What is the use of living? The world is also not good, I am also not good. What is the point of living? It's absolutely worthless, useless. No need to leave. I am not okay. You are not okay. They generally say, I am not okay, you are not okay. This you can apply in relationships also. I am okay, but the world is not okay. Or I am not okay, but you are okay. Meaning you are good, I am the bad person. So I will fall into this victimizing. So I will cling to you. I will depend. I will hold on, become possessive. Because I am not feeling good from within. Now I need somebody else or something else to make me feel good. I am not okay and you are also not okay. Then what will happen? Break the relationship. What is the point of this relationship? Useless it is. Destroy it. Break it. Third is what? I am okay. Everything is also okay. I am fine. Everything is fine. This is what? Win-win situation. There's a lot of positivity, enthusiasm, growth, all this will happen. Why? Because I'm in the mode of acceptance. I am fine, you are fine, everything is good. Does not mean there are no challenges, but the attitude is fine. What we learned last time, acceptance. There may be challenges, we'll grow through it, we'll come out of it, but is fine. And next one is, I am okay, everything is not okay. This will lead to superiority complex. I am good, you are not good. This will lead to blaming others also. Because of you, these things happened. Both these, I am not okay, everything is okay, or I am okay, everything is not okay, can lead to blaming people, blaming circumstances, blaming other things. So what is this? I am not okay, everything is okay means what? Purnam adaha, apurnam idam. I am not okay and everything around is okay. Oh, sorry, I am not okay and everything is okay. So, yeah, Purnam adaha, apurnam idam. I am not okay, everything around not okay. What is that combination? Both apurnamadaha, apurnamidam. I am okay, everything okay is purnamadaha, purnamidam. I am okay, everything is not okay. Apurnam adaha, purnam idam. So there is a practical meaning that even at the relative level, if I apply Purnamada Purnamidam, otherwise it's absolute level. Purnamada Purnamidam means that is complete and this is also complete. Means all this is an expression of only pure consciousness. But at a simple level, at our day-to-day life also, in these four, the best one is to stick to this third quadrant. This is first, this is second, this is third, this is fourth. When I live in inferiority and victimization, everything around is fine, but still I will crib and complain. So many people get into depression, sadness, frustration, all because they feel this, I am not okay. Something is not correct with me. Something could have happened in the past also. Long back in the past it could have happened. But this person is not ready to leave that. Move on, ho gaya, whatever happened, happened. One moves on. Everyone goes through this phase, I am not okay, everything is okay. But one has to come out of it, snap out of it. Because if I don't do that, it will lead to the next one. I am not okay and everything around also is not okay. Now I will be absolutely frustrated. There is no hope at all. Get into some Negative mode in such a way that one criticizes oneself, becomes bitter, negativity in relationship, destroy everything. Very, very harmful. I am okay, everything okay is the best mode to be in. Because the fact is that Purnamadaha Purnam Idam. Whatever is happening either because of some karma or by the will of the Lord, or it is temporary. We saw that. Either of these three attitudes, if we take, there is no problem. Today I put on my Instagram this picture. I don't know if some of you must have seen. You see this? What do you see? It looks as though this rock is hanging in the air. But if you flip this picture, it is actually the other way. So if we edit this picture, you will see that it is just a question of perspective. What doesn't look proper now you see. It's water, It's a rock in the water, and the trees are all reflection in the water. The same thing from this perspective, how does it look? It looks as though this thing is hanging in the air, and then what is all this? It's just a matter of perspective, the vision, how the vision will change. So if we have the right attitude, the right vision we have, there is no problem. But the same thing, when we look at it with a different attitude, then everything is a problem, doesn't work well. So Purnamada Purnamidam has some of these very, very practical aspects, that I am okay and you are also okay. And I am okay, but everything else is not okay. Again, superiority complex comes. One will never see one's own flaws. One will never accept that the mistake could happen by me also. What will one do? Blame other people. Because of you only everything happened. No responsibility one takes for anything that one is doing. So Purnamada Purnamidam has this one very practical aspect. Live always in the attitude of gratitude. That's the simplest way to apply Purnamadaha Purnamidam. Most practical way. Now Purnamada Purnamidam we saw. Then Purnat Purnam Udachyate. From that Purnam, this Purnam has manifested. So we saw that creation is a illusion. Because when the cause is changeless, that changeless cause cannot produce anything. Because any production itself means change. So if the cause is changeless, the effect cannot be real. Effect has to be illusory. So what is the practical meaning of that? If the effect is illusory, what should I do? The effect is nothing but cause in another form. So substratum is never affected by the superimposition. Substratum can never be affected by the superimposition. Like the snake is never affected by, the rope is never affected by the snake. Does the rope become poisonous? The mud, does it become wet because of the mirage? No. Even right now, this body, mind, intellect may go through any situation. Body may not be healthy, mind may have negativities, intellect may be confused, but even at this moment, the self, which is my true nature, does not get affected by any condition of the body, mind, intellect. Does that mean I can become irresponsible? No. Because if I say it doesn't get affected by any condition of the BMI, it doesn't mean I become irresponsible. Why? Because the BMI has to be in a specific condition for me to realize the self. Self is never affected by the BMI, but as my identification right now is with the body, mind, intellect. If I don't bring that into a sattvic state, into Sukshma Buddhi, all those what we saw earlier, no? Sukshma Buddhi, Agra Buddhi, all that. Shuddha Buddhi. If the body, mind, intellect doesn't come into that level, Satyam, Ahimsa, Brahmacharya we saw. If we don't train it, it will not realize the self. So that this is not to say that I can live irresponsibly. This is to understand that at this moment also nothing has happened. I am the pure consciousness alone. Superimposition can never affect the substratum. So it's not that I have to become infinite reality. I am already that, just that I don't know it. So one industrialist, he went to the master and he asked the master that, life is very terrible. Business is not doing well, relationships are in turmoil. Socially, I am not very, people are not accepting of me. What do I do? So the master asked him, do you want a relief or do you want a cure? Because he has gone earlier for relief. The master has told him something and he has found some relief. But again and again he has gone. So the master finally asked him, do you want a relief or do you want a cure? He said, this time I want a cure. So the master said, then think about this. I am not lost in a dream. I am dreaming that I am lost. What does this mean? I am not lost in a dream. As of now, this world is a dream. I am thinking I am lost in this world. CAA आ गया, NRC आ गया, पता नहीं क्या करने वाले हैं, so much protest, all much ado about nothing. Without reading, without understanding, getting fanned by all kinds of vested interests and intelligent people. I think I am lost in a dream. What the master is saying, Arey, you are not lost in a dream. You are only dreaming that you are lost. Meaning, you are lying on the bed happily. There is nothing that has happened to you. Don't think that you are going through some trouble and that is real. At the relative reality, what you have to face, you face it, do what has to be done. But absolute reality, we should understand that that is my true nature. I can never be affected by it. The way to rise above any problem is to rise from the level of the problem to a higher level. Staying at the level of the problem, I cannot solve the problem. I have to rise to a higher level. Staying at the BMI level, there will be challenges. I need to know what is the substratum, what is the self. So, Purnamada, Purnamidam, Purnat, Purnam Udachyate. From that, this has manifested, meaning it's an illusory creation at one level. And so when it's an illusory creation, I should remain in equanimity. Body, mind, intellect will go through what it has to go through. As much as I can stay as the self. That is the next line which says Purnasya Purnamadaya. So I will come to that afterwards. But the practical implication of this line is from that this has manifested, meaning the substratum is appearing as the superimposition. The snake is nothing but rope only. So what should be the next attitude? Inquire into what is the substratum. What is the inquiry into the substratum? That from where this world came, that, and as far as this personality is concerned, the inquiry is, who am I? Inquire, who am I? Truly, who am I? Am I this bundle of 5 elements? I am not this. Purnat Purnam Udachyate. Who am I truly? Am I this bundle of body, mind, intellect that was not there before certain number of years? So in Zen, they always ask you to meditate. What was your face before you were born? So people actually start thinking, how would I be looking? No, what is your face before you are born means Even before this body came into existence, you have existed. And after the body dies also you will exist. So who are you? Are you this body? No. Then are you the mind? No. When mind is not there in deep sleep, I am still there. That means who am I? Enquire. Purnat Purnamudachyate means who am I? Enquiry. And enquire from where the world also came. What is the source of this whole universe? And the beauty of this is the source of the universe is here. The self is the very source of the whole universe. Third meaning is Purnat Purnamudachyate means that this whole world is a joyful creation, which we spoke about it. It is a creation of abundance. Why remain in insecurity and sorrow? If I have the mindset of abundance, the abundance only will manifest in my life. If I have the mindset of deprivation, deprivation will manifest in my life. Everything starts first at the thought level. Purnat Purna Mudachyate means if the sankalpa is Purna, action also will become Purna. Cause is Purna, effect will be Purna. So if you apply that, at sankalp level, if I think very strongly this has to happen, action level it will happen, because action is an effect. Sankalpa or the desire is the cause. Now this principle we can apply everywhere or not, which they apply in secret and all these places. Where all they'll apply? In parking, if you look at that secret, they will say, I visualize that I will get parking, so I got parking. If you say parking मिलता ही नहीं स्वामी जी आजकल बहुत मुश्किल है, तो मुश्किल ही होगा. If you say मिल जाएगा तो मिल जाएगा. नहीं, कभी कभी नहीं चलता है, चलो ठीक है. That out of 10 times, 8 times it works, 2 times it doesn't work. Now why will I hold on to those 2 times only? 8 times it is working, no. Why am I not focusing on that? All of you are sitting here right now for Ishavasya Upanishad. It's because of that only. You have visualized strongly that I have to study Ishavasya Upanishad Monday evening. You have reserved a slot. Now sankalpa is strong, then it manifests. Two days back we have taken a sankalp. Not 2 days back. Actually we took that sankalp on Vijayadashmi day. And what is that sankalp? In Juhu we need a bigger center. No, Swamiji, kaise hoga? That is the problem. Hoga. What is wrong in taking sankalp? Anything you are losing? Take sankalp. कितना बड़ा चाहिए? 2000 square feet minimum चाहिए. इतना थोड़ी हो सकता है. A problem is everywhere there only. We can even think that we want a huge temple. What is the problem in thinking? नहीं, फिर पैसे कैसे आएंगे? What is our problem? Bhagwan will send, is Bhagwan's work. We have to go and ask people, if cause is worthy, people will give. So do the sankalp. Do you want a big center? Really? The yes is so weak. डर डर के बोल रहे हैं yes. For whom is it? Is it for Chinmay mission? It is for public only, no? To serve the society only we are taking a bigger place. Society will work for it. But I am a part of that society. No, that is a problem. It is Ishwar Icha. Nimitta matram bhava savya sachin. Bhagwan only puts the sankalpa in our head. Bhagwan only makes us work. Bhagwan only inspires somebody to give. It is his will, no? He will do. So sankalp can be there. I am saying at any level you can apply this. Purnamada Purnamidam is not just a very abstract philosophy. At sankalp level, if I think I want abundance, I want to become this, I want to achieve this, visualize it and feed that. Every single day one has to feed that sankalp. Then that sankalp will manifest. Have we not become like that in our daily life? We are seeing it's a result of it, no? We want to marry, we want to have children. Sankalp was there or not? Or suddenly you got married. Swamiji, one day morning I got up, I found I'm married. ऐसे थोड़ी हुआ है, संकल्प था ना. नहीं नहीं, मेरे मन में नहीं था, मम्मी डैडी के मन में था ना. Everything is a result of that only. So Purnasya Purnamadaya. This whole creation works from the subtle to the gross, from the cause to the effect. At cause level, if we are very strong, effect level, it will just manifest. You can apply this anywhere. You want to lose weight, take a strong sankalp and keep visualizing your target. How will you look when you have reached your target? Now keep visualizing that. I am not joking. You will move towards that. And nowadays, you don't have to worry. There are apps which will show you that also. How will you look? Take a printout of that and keep it. And every day see that. If you are not able to meditate regularly, put a picture of some yogi or somebody meditating. And every day visualize that you are meditating and your meditation is going beautifully and Bhagavan is giving you darshan. It will manifest. You don't have faith, then I can't help it. But it will work. Lot of people have this skepticism. ऐसे होता तो क्या होता, कोई problem ही नहीं है. That is a fact. There is no problem. Problem is our skepticism, our doubt, our disbelief, our ignorance. That is the only problem. No, but Swamiji, we try so many times. I tried, but it is not happening. Some past karma, some obstacle must be there. You keep on feeding that sankalpa. It will work itself out. Don't worry. Why? Purnat Purnam Udachyate. The source is Purnam and infinity, our potential is infinity, is our nature. It will manifest. You see, in the Upanishads, such beautiful words are given. In different Upanishads, what are the words given for creation, you see? So Aitareya Upanishad said, So Kamayata, he desired. Then somewhere else it said, Sa Aikshata Lokanusruja iti, he willed. Somewhere it said, Ashramyata, he exerted. Atapyata, in Mundaka Upanishad it will come. Atapyata, he labored. Abhavyat, he became. All these, meaning the cause will manifest as the effect. And all this is happening as what? As a very joyful activity. The whole source of the creation, the motivation behind creation is a joyful expression of infinite potential. If we have limited power, we want to express or not? Think about it. People who know, who have started using Facebook, now they understand what is Facebook. In the beginning, when these people started understanding WhatsApp, no, left and right they would send forwards or not, because they're very happy. As the forward comes to them, they will forward it. Why? Because they have understood how to use a forward now. So send it out to everybody. So little power, some power of poetry we have. What will we do? We'll make poetry. Whether it's actual poetry or not doesn't matter, but we will start. Some power of singing. If nowhere, at least in the bathroom I will sing. Any little power if we have, we will start manifesting that power. Bhagavan has infinite power. This whole creation is a manifestation of Bhagavan's power only. And it's a joyful expression. So the whole basis of the creation is joy, is abundance, is love, is Leela. And hence it is that we should understand that in our life also, it is our perception that makes us feel inadequate. Otherwise the creation is fine. So this is a very joyful activity, and hence this line is called Vikas Sutra. Purnat Purnam Udachyate is a Vikas Sutra. Vikas Sutra means the sutra for growth, for development. We don't have to grow on the basis of insecurity, competition, pulling somebody else down. Infinite is our potential, we will keep growing. So Purnat Purnam Udachyate. And the beauty of this is what? That no matter what, how much manifests, it doesn't get exhausted. Because it's infinite. Purnat Purnam Udachyate. A seed is in that sense, in one way it has infinite potential, like last time we saw, every seed gives rise to a tree which will have fruits, each fruit will have so many trees, so many seeds. It goes on. But that seed gets destroyed. Like we saw, no? Production, modification. It is not like that. This is an appearance. So infinite names and forms will keep coming. Many people think that there are fixed number of jivas. So they always ask, Swamiji, population is increasing, and from where these jivas are coming? From where the jivas are coming? Infinite is the source. There is no fixed number of jivas. They will keep coming. No, but there are many jivas who have got extinct. Are they not coming into this now? That's all based on assumption that there is a finite number of jivas. And so those who were dinosaurs, tigers, lions, all of them now have become humans. So that's why there is so much of violence happening. That's one theory. All these tigers, lions and all of them, now they are becoming extinct. Now they are becoming what? Human being. Why are we assuming that? They can become human in natural cycle of evolution also, but there can be many other jivas coming in. Because cause is infinite. There is no fixed number. So no matter how much we manifest, we should not think that my potential is now exhausted. It depends. Many people as they grow old, they say, ab bahut ho gaya, ab is enough. See, at physical level, one can understand capacities decrease. But many people give up at the mind level also. But if I understand that infinite is the power, but Swamiji, that infinite power is power of the self. Mind to is limited only, no? No. Mind is not limited. Mind is also illumined by this self only, and it is infinite. Just imagine what is our mind. How many lakhs of births which it has gone through. What is the level of samskara it has? How much samskara it is storing? In the subconscious mind and unconscious mind. If conscious mind, what we learn is how much? Is a small tip. Subconscious, unconscious is the maximum. Now huge is our mind, infinite is our mind's potential also. So live life, basically what does it mean? Live life with tremendous amount of energy and enthusiasm at any level. Continue to learn. Don't say ki now we are enough now, I don't want to learn, I can't learn anymore, now my capacity is over. Then what will you do? Sit and sulk. I became old, I became old, I became old, I became old. Better than that is to learn something, no? No, but what is the use? Memory is not there. It is not retaining only. That may be a challenge, no doubt. But the samskar has gone in, please remember. And the same mind goes to the next birth. Next birth, when you start, you will not start again from zero. From where you left only, you will start again. So there's nothing to lose. There is everything to lose if I have this attitude that can't do anything. Life is going now. There's very few years left now. What should I do now? It's all useless. What we saw earlier, na? I am not okay. Everything else is okay. Not that. Live life with enthusiasm. So Purnat Purnam Udachyate. Then Purnasya Purnamadaya. The last line. From that which is Purnam, if you remove this which is Purnam, what will remain? Purnameva avashishyate. Meaning from that which is infinite cause, if you remove names and forms, what will remain? That cause will remain. Like from the mud, if you remove pot, what will remain? Mud will remain still. From pot also, if you remove the potness, what will remain? Mud will remain. So mud is indestructible. Now, Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva avashishyate means what? The practical means of that is, the sadhana that I have to do is detach. First of all, have vairagya, dispassion. Cultivate this vairagya. Why? Because in the world, whatever is there is an illusion. Why am I running behind that illusion? I should seek that which is Purna. Turn the attention away from that which is illusory to that which is really Purna. So when we cultivate vairagya, then contemplate on the Purna. This is Purnam Adaya means what? Removal is removal of what? Removal of the names and forms. Drop the names and forms. Contemplate on the self and detach from name and form. So the body, mind, intellect, detach from that. Object, emotion, thought, detach from that. Perceiver, feeler, thinker, detach from that. What will remain? Om will remain. Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Avashishyate. From this, if you remove the names and forms. Now, do I have to actually remove names and forms? Or I have to remove in my understanding? Only in understanding. So mentally speaking, detach from the BMI attached to the self. The more I go away from names and forms, when we say go away from names and forms means my identification that I am this, I am not this. This is that equipment. The more I detach from this, that this is only an equipment, I am not this. The sense of I must be detached from the BMI. That's all has to be done. We don't have to destroy the BMI. So Purnasya Purnam Adaya. Adaya means drop or subtract or remove. What remove? False identification. How to remove false identification? One step, detach from the BMI. Second step, contemplate on the self continuously. To help me to detach from BMI, what should I do? Do tapas, do vrata, do upvas. All these sadhanas are given to develop detachment from the BMI so that I use it as an instrument and not as I. These things when I do, I develop a certain amount of detachment from the BMI saying this is only a tool. Why am I so bothered? It was young, it has gone through youth, it has become middle age, now it has become old. It is a tool that is going through it. I am different from it. Now, if I do certain vrata, Ekadashi vrata, Maun vrat, so many different types of vratas which are there, what will it do? It will integrate the body, mind, intellect. It will help to follow. This purity of mind will come. Surrender will happen. Those things will happen. So, all those sadhanas which we have learned earlier, even simplest, even those three which we learned, Satyam, Ahimsa and Brahmacharya, those also I can do. That will help me to detach from the name and form. Not outside name and form only, even this name and form. Then I can contemplate steadily on the self. What is the adaya? When we say Purnasya Purnam Adaya, if I drop this notion that I am this BMI, that is the renunciation, Tyaga, of the false identification, then Purnam alone remains. Self alone remains. The BMI disappears literally in Samadhi Avastha, it will disappear. So Purnasya Purnam Adaya is to lead me to the state of Samadhi. When detachment from BMI becomes complete, person experiences Samadhi Avastha. Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Avashishyate. That one word, Purnameva Avashishyate, is not one word, it's three words. Purnam Eva Avashishyate. Those three, they signify Samadhi Avastha. Purnasya Purnamadaya is contemplation. Steady contemplation on the self. I will reach there. Now, if I ask, if we have to understand what is the essence of this whole Purnamada Purnamidam in one line, what will you say? Entire mantra, Purnamada Purnamidam, in one sentence, you have to explain what will you say? Simple. That's all. World is illusion, this, that, this is Purnam, that is Purnam. World is not a reality, it is not a production, it is not a modification, it is not a evolution. A full essence of that whole thing is what? I am Purnam, that's it. And who is this I? Not this BMI. That Samadhi Avastha, what we experience now, that self, Atma, that is Purnam and that is me. So many people can give full talk on Purnamada, Purnamidam, but they will still feel I am Apurnam only. Then I have not understood Purnamada, Purnamidam. The essence of Purnamada, Purnamidam is what? Aham Purnam. I am Purnam. That's the crux of this. And this we saw at the relative level also, that I am okay and everything else is also okay. At the absolute level, it means I am Sachidananda Swarup Atma, so Aham Brahma Asmi. At a relative level, it means everything is okay as it is. Whatever we have to play in the roles, we will play the duties in the roles, change anything, improve anything, all that is fine. But essentially the fundamental thing is everything is okay. So Aham Purnam. Now Gurudev used to explain this same thing. If Purnavada Purnamidam is complicated, then he would say use the word gold and the ornament, So Goldamadaha mean pure gold. And this bangle also is gold, Goldamidam. Goldamadaha, Goldamidam. Goldat, Goldam Udachyate. From that gold, this gold bangle is made. From this gold bangle, Goldasya Goldamadaya. From this gold bangle, if you remove the bangleness, Goldameva Vashishyate. What will remain? Gold only will remain. So that's what we have to do. Ultimately, what is the truth? Gold alone is the truth. Same way, what is the truth? Purnam alone is the truth. I am that. So these are different implications of Purnamada, Purnamidam. And once we understand this, actually Ishavasya Upanishad, not only Ishavasya Upanishad, full Upanishad, everything is over in this Purnamada, Purnamidam only. Now whatever we will explain will only be a commentary on this, what you already know. Oh, so that means I need not come from next class. That is your choice. So I am Purnam, creation is Purnam, which means no creation, only Purnam. That's it. That's the essence of Purnamada, Purnamidam. If you understood it, wonderful. If you didn't understand, very wonderful. Full Upanishad is still there to explain, so don't worry. Samadhi Avastha. Samadhi Avastha, no creation at all. When complete withdrawal from body, mind, intellect, ego happens, in that state, only self. Nothing else remains. That is the state, no creation. When I am living in the world, I should live with the attitude that this is Purnam and this is illusory, both. Either of the attitude I can take. If this is illusory, I will not run behind it, I will seek substratum. If this is Purnam, I don't fight it. I will turn my attention to the Purnam. Either ways, my attention is turning towards Purnam. As I keep learning to detach from the BMI, what will happen? At a point, complete transcendence of identification with BMI will happen. No creation cannot be experienced at the physical level. See, our problem is at the physical level we try to experience no creation. That is not possible. Because this, as we saw, this itself is a part of Creation. Now holding on to this, if I say, oh, this doesn't exist, it doesn't exist, not possible to experience. But to say this is an illusory thing, that is possible. And to turn the attention within and not run behind it, that is possible. When I turn the attention within, then what will happen? Contemplation on the self, when we do steadily this, then samadhi avastha will happen. In samadhi, there is no triputi, no experiencer, no experienced, no experiencing. Nirvikalpa samadhi. That is the state where there is no creation. No, but then when I come out of it, there is still creation. You think about it, it will not be there. As what we see as separate right now from me, it will not be there. How it will appear? Purnam only. The whole thing will appear as the appearance of Purnam. Like every single wave, all the foam, bubble, lather, everything is what? Only water. The master's experience is what? The self in me is the self in all. Ishavasya itself will say that. Sarvabhutastham atmanam sarvabhutani chatmani. So one who sees the self in all and all in the self, tatona vijugupsate, that person goes beyond all sense of sorrow, fear, guilt, everything, all the emotions, turbulence, everything gone. No sense of difference. So no creation happens in what state? Only in the state of samadhi, and with samadhi, nirvikalpa samadhi. That nirvikalpa samadhi, continuous abhyas when one does, one will get established in that. That one will no more see the self as separate from oneself, but one will see the self as one. That I am only all this. The vision shifts of the wave from I am a small little wave to I am water, and as water I am everywhere. Then there is no wave. Because wave is only from standpoint of the form. Actually there is only water. There is nothing called wave. Same way there is nothing called bangle. What is bangle? Gold only. Functional convenience, we are calling it as a bangle. Bangle, earring, bracelet, anklet is all what? Just names. Actual essence is gold. But today how strange it is. We have forgotten gold and we are stuck bangle. Arey, what is bangle without gold? No, there is nothing called gold. Bangle is. That's what we are doing. No? The names and form is real to us. God is not real. Arey, God is only all this. Purnat Purnam Udachyate. No, there is no God. Only this is real. But it is ulta. God alone is appearing as all this. So, no creation. When a person experiences this in samadhi, when one comes out, one will still remain in that vision that there is only one self manifesting as all. And their level is very difficult to understand. We have to only lift ourselves to that level. If you ask them, from our standpoint to understand, they will say that all this is appearance of Brahman. One truth only. So they will feel compassion for somebody suffering, they will go, they will help, they will have unconditional love, tireless service, all that will happen at one level. At the higher level, they will say nothing is happening. Why? Because abiding in changeless truth, what can happen in changeless truth? Nothing will happen. The world never got created at all. That is the highest state. Ajatavada it is called. So let's start. First one. Repeat after me. Now I'm not going to go by this, the intonation. We will just chant. In your book, you open the page. How many of you read the commentary of the first verse? ठीक से उठाओ, आप डर के क्यों उठा रहे हो? हाँ ठीक है, इसीलिए पूछा था, इसलिए बोला था पढ़ो करके. अब now we will. That's why we are. First you prepare, first you read, then you come here, so you already have a background, then you can understand better. 75 page in your book. Om Ishavasyamidagam Sarvam यत्किंच जगत्यां जगत् तेन त्यक्तेन भुञ्जीथाः मा गृधः कस्य स्विद्धनम्. Together. ॐ ईशावास्यमिदगं सर्वं यत्किञ्च जगत्यां जगत् तेन त्यक्तेन भुञ्जीथाः मा गृधः कस्य स्विद्धनम्. Now, this mantra is a very, very important mantra. In fact, it is so important that it is said that if the entire Sanatan Dharma gets destroyed, but this one mantra remains, the whole Sanatan Dharma can be revived. This one mantra. Right? Purnamada Purnamidam, if you have understood, then no problem. Then it is simple after that. So, what does this mantra literally say? First, we will see literal meaning, then we go into deeper meaning. Om Isha Vasyam Idagam Sarvam. This world should be pervaded by the Supreme Lord. That's an instruction to us, to the seeker, that you pervade, you must have the vision that the whole world is pervaded only by the Lord. Meaning pervade the whole world by the Lord alone. Right now we are seeing names and forms. He says you change that, shift your vision that this whole universe is pervaded only by the Lord. Ishavasyam idam sarvam. This sarvam is what? Yat kincha jagatyam jagat. Even the tiniest bit, whatever yat kincha, whatever it is, in this world which is changing, which has all changing objects in it, and the world itself is changing. Jagatyam jagat, changing world with changing objects. All this realm of change have the vision that this is all pervaded by the Lord. Tena tyaktena bhunjithaha. Renouncing this, you rejoice. Renounce what? All this attachment to names, forms, everything you renounce and enjoy. Renounce and rejoice. Ma gridha kasya svidhanam. Do not covet anybody's wealth. Ma gridha, don't covet. Kasya svidhanam. Anybody's wealth. Simple meaning of the mantra. Now, this mantra is actually said to the Uttam Adhikari, the highest Adhikari, whose mind is very subtle, very sharp, very pure. To that Uttam Adhikari, the mantra is addressed to. As I said, Upanishad goes from subtle to simple. Always you will see, even in Kenopanishad, any Upanishad you will see, the subtlest knowledge will be given first, so that the Adhikari who is Uttam will get the knowledge and his job is over. The rest of it will be an elaboration of that subtle knowledge, make it grosser, simpler. So, Ishavasyam idagam sarvam. Isha. The word Isha comes from the Sanskrit root it. It means to rule. That supreme reality is called Isha. It is the ruler, supreme ruler. So when we say it is the ruler, it's a ruler means what? Generally we think ruler means some dictator is there and he is holding some chabuk in his hand and then he is ruling over people. Is Bhagwan like that, sitting up there and judging everybody? You people, you are sinners. You have done all this wrong. Khao Maharavi. No. He is a ruler means the inner controller. Pratyagatma he is. He is the self in all. without which nothing will remain, in whose presence everything functions. That one supreme reality is the inner ruler of all. Antaryami, Pratyagatma, or the Shankaracharya ji has used the word in his commentary, Antaryami. He is the inner controller of all, enlivener of all. Our body, mind, intellect can function because of the presence of that self. So the word Isha here, generally we translate Isha as the Lord, but here the word Isha is self. They are one and the same. So this word itself is enough to tell us that we are not the BMI, we are one with the consciousness. Now Isha is that, the inner ruler of all, who pervades this whole universe. But right now we are not able to see that the Lord alone pervades the whole universe. Right now we are seeing what? Only names and forms. All different people. We are seeing objects, situations. We are seeing all this separate from each other, separate from us also. So the instruction given is not that God pervades the whole world. The instruction is Isha Vasyam. You should pervade the whole world with God. Meaning, in our vision, we must have the vision of oneness. That there is only one self which is all these. Isha Vasyam. Now the word Vas, Gurudev, if you see in this commentary, he has given two meanings. One meaning is to dwell. So, Isha Vasyam, the self dwells where? Idam Sarvam, in all this. Now, when we say all this, what does it mean? Whatever we call as this is Idam. So this watch, this mic, this pencil, this book is all this, which is other than I. I is Aham. This is Idam. Now Idam, generally we will connect Idam only to objects in the world outside. But when we say this mic, this book, this cloth, this table, this chair, same way this body also. This body also is this only, it's an object. This mind, because I am aware of the thoughts. This intellect, I am aware of the feelings, thoughts, decisions, everything. This ego. So except Aham, which is the self, everything else is Idam, is this. Now today we are not seeing Aham, and this Idam alone I am seeing as all the different objects only. So the instruction to the Uttam Adhikari is, this whole Idam must be pervaded by Aham. Understand that all this is nothing but an appearance of the self. It is not different from the self. And the self in me is a self in all. So, Isha Vasyam Idam Sarvam. So the self alone is the indweller in all. Now, how do we understand that? First of all, self exists, that itself has to be understood. See, for the Uttam Adhikari, self, there is no doubt of the existence of the self. Now for us, there is a doubt. Now how to understand? So Gurudev used to give this very nice example of the bulb. So where is the electricity in the bulb? Does the outer glass covering of that bulb produce electricity? Does it give light? Does the tungsten filament give light? Those two things which are, what do they call it? Anode and cathode. Something, whatever those two are, filaments. Will they give the light? Where is the light? By itself, that bulb does not have any light. No part of that bulb has light. That means there is some other factor which is enlivening this to produce light. Same way, in this body, mind, intellect, which part is enlivening and functioning on its own? Nothing. It is Jada Vastu by itself. There is a separate enlivener, that is the self. So that is Isha. Can this self, can this consciousness remain without the BMI? Yes or no? You have a doubt? Can BMI remain without consciousness? Consciousness cannot remain without the BMI. BMI can remain without consciousness, correct? Good, you are awake. Consciousness remains independent of the BMI. BMI remains fully dependent on that. So this self is that Ishavasyam. Today I am seeing the BMI as though it's functioning on its own, and all the other BMIs also are functioning on its own. So I am stuck with this idam. I don't know what is this aham. For the Uttamadhikari, what is said, understand that this whole idam, this entire universe, sarvam, is pervaded by that one self. So one meaning is dwell. The self is that which is the indweller of all the equipments, is the indweller. That's why we call it as the Pratyag Atma, the inner self. Second meaning of vas means cloth. So he has given that as cloth, which means enveloping. What does the cloth do? It envelopes the body. What is that which envelopes the whole universe? Is the self. Ishavasyam. So let the whole universe be pervaded by the self is the sadhana for this person. And where is that person to do this sadhana? While living in the world as well as in steady contemplation, there is only one self which is appearing as all this. I am that pure consciousness. This is the Uttamadhikari sadhana. That there is one self and I am that self, and that self alone is appearing as all this. I am not this body, mind and intellect. Meaning, what are we trying to do? As of now, I am thinking I am one of the effects in this whole world created by some God. I am one small creature, Mr. So and so. I am one of the effects. What is this telling us? Arey, you are not one of these effects. You are the ultimate cause. Not only one, just a cause. You are the ultimate cause. Ishavasyam. So he says, have the vision. The mantra is saying that, O seeker, pervade the whole universe with this and know that you are that Isha. You are that pure self. Why? Because without this self, nothing else remains. It is all Jadavastu. It will perish. It is completely destructible. But the self is indestructible. And this destructible thing is also this only. Appearance of the self. How? We just learnt, na? Purnamadaha, Purnam Idam. You see, Gurudev used to give us 3 laws of causation. This Purnamada Purnamidam is a very beautiful depiction of these 3 laws of causation. What is the first law of causation? If there is an effect, there has to be a cause. Purnamadaha Purnam Idam. That's the first law. If the effect is there, there has to be a cause. If idam is there, adaha has to be there. From where this effect came otherwise? Effect is nothing but cause in another form. What is this? The next part. Purnat Purnam Udachyate. Effect is nothing but cause in another form is Purnat Purnam Udachyate. From the effect, if cause is removed, Nothing remains meaning cause remains. Effect doesn't remain. That is Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Simple. These three laws of causation came from Purnamada Purnamidam. So now we cannot say that there is no self, there is a self. That self alone is appearing as all this. Why? Because effect is nothing but cause in another form. The BMI has not come from anything else, it is come from the infinite source only. That's why we saw Purnamadaha. So this whole universe is to be pervaded by the vision of the self. Ishavasyam idam sarvam. So I am not one of the effects, I am the ultimate cause from where the whole universe came. This vision has to be of the seeker in the state of contemplation. So Uttamadhikari will be told this. Not everybody can do this, that whole universe is an appearance of self alone, that there is only one absolute self, requires lot of detachment, that I am not this body, mind and intellect. If I have strong attachment to BMI, I cannot understand this part. So for them the next mantra and the mantra after that will come. So Ishavasyam idam sarvam. Pervade this whole universe with the vision of oneness. Now what is this sarvam? Yat kincha. Whatever little also is there in this world is that alone. Including the atom, proton, neutron, electron, everything. Smallest dust particle also is that Supreme Self only. No, Swamiji. Everything is Brahman except my mother-in-law, I am telling you. Except my boss. Except that enemy of mine. Everything else is Brahman. No, no, no. Yat kincha. Any littlest thing also. Minutest thing. Kincha. And where? Jagatyam Jagat. Why this Jagatyam Jagat is used? So what is the meaning of this? Jagatyam means in the world. And what is this world? Jayate. The world is born. Gacchati. It dies or goes. And Tishtati iva. As though it stays. But it doesn't stay. It is only as though it is staying. Jayate gacchati tishtati iva. Shankaracharya defined this etymology of the word Jagat. That Jagat is constantly changing. It is a glamorous, glitterous world. Gurudev used to say jugu 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 iti Jagat. Which is shining like a jugnu, you know. His world is very glamorous. New Year you will see so much of glamour. All trees and this and that and bell and light and I don't know what is so new about it. Wow, crackers and everything, dum dum dum, all so many things. Glamorous world, ekdam. But what is the true nature of this Jagat? As it is born, it dies. Every single moment it is dying, it appears as though it is there. This is called Drishta Nashta Swabhava. As you see it also, it is destroyed. We think we are seeing something solid, tangible. Nothing is solid, nothing is tangible. We think something is steady, nothing is steady. Even as we are seeing each other right now, how many cells have born, so many cells have already got destroyed, we have already changed. Every single moment we are changing. The nature of Jagat is like that. Continuous change. If you see using a microscope, this what looks, nothing is happening here. If you see using a microscope, so much is happening here continuously. That's the nature of Jagat. Everything constantly changing, changing, changing. So world itself is changing, which is the basis. In that the objects also are changing. So Jagatya means in the world. The whole world as such is a changing world. And change means death. How strange it is. Change means death. Every single moment it is born, it dies, it born, it dies, and it is not. See, we think of it in terms of time, that as it is born, then after some time it will die. As it is born, it dies. In between, as though it remains. We can understand this even from thought level. A thought comes, just dies. Early morning, as soon as you get up, a good auspicious thought comes, today I want to do japa. And it dies. The moment you take a phone, it dies. Thought came and died. Immediate, instant. It doesn't even sustain. No, even if you sustain, it's another thought, no? Which you will feed to sustain this thought. But this thought, drashta nashta svabhava. As I am seeing, it is changing, it is dying. If you think more about this, no, vairagya will come straight. That what I am holding on to, really speaking, nothing is stationary, nothing is constant. And everybody likes to quote, change alone is the constant. Very good. It is true, change alone is the constant. But what is the implication of that? That if everything is changing, why am I running behind that? It is dying every minute. And what is my deepest demand? You remember 3 deepest demands we have. To live forever, to know, and to be happy. How will the world fulfill that? That which by itself doesn't have its existence. It is born, dies, continuously it is born and it dies. Unsteady it is. No, but the problem is there only, that it is unsteady at the subatomic level, but at our level it is steady. That is where the challenge is. Our senses are making it appear so real to us that we are not seeing the change only. So we are thinking it is there, I can enjoy. So we think that object by itself is satyam, it exists. Not only it exists, it will remain for a long time, nityam, satyatvam, nityatvam and sukhitvam, and it has its own capacity to make me happy. So I am running behind it, because for me it is there, it is constant, and it has capacity to give me happiness. But what does the Vedanta say? Arey, it is not satyam, it is not nityam, it is dukkha only, there is no sukha there. But because I have got attached to the temporary pleasure that it gives, now I think it is okay, I am running behind it. In that process, what have I forgotten? The self, the Atma. For the Uttamadhikari, it is said, Isha Vasyam Idam Sarvam, pervade the whole world with the self. For us, the whole world is pervaded by names and forms, which are perishing. And attached to them, we are also perishing. What is a Vedantic student here doing? He says, you pervade the whole world with the vision of the self. And what is the whole world? Every single thing in the world, Jagatyam, which is changing, the world itself is changing. And Jagat here means the moving objects. See, Jagatyam means in the world. Jagat here means the moving objects, meaning changing things. Meaning the base is changing and all the objects inside it also are changing. Meaning there is nothing stationary here, nothing. Somewhere we think the base is stationary and objects, some few objects may be changing. No, the base also is changing. The base here is the world. The base of the world is Atma, that is not changing. But the Atma is being projected as the world. The world by itself is changing, plus objects in it also are changing. For example, earth itself is changing and everything inside the earth also is changing. On the earth also is changing. So where is the constant? There is no constant only. So wherever I look, I am seeing only change. So the vision of a samsari is what? Everything is changing, there is nothing changeless. And the vision of a Uttamadhikari is what? All this is an appearance of the one changeless truth. There is nothing which is changing. From the standpoint of Atma, there is only one changeless truth. So Ishavasyam idam sarvam yatkincha jagatyam jagat. Tena tyaktena bhunjitha. You renounce this attachment to the changing and you enjoy. How can I renounce and enjoy? Generally, I consume and enjoy. How to drop and enjoy? If I give away chocolate to somebody, how will I enjoy? That's why these Upanishads and all are very confusing. Renounce and enjoy. How can you renounce and enjoy? Tell me, you eating chocolate is more joy, or actually giving it to somebody and feeling their joy is your joy, is more? No, Swamiji, at my level, eating chocolate is more joy. There is greater joy in making somebody else's life more happy. That I do when I have to put an Instagram story. Na? That for the new year I went and did chocolate down to 20 children and take one picture, put it on Instagram. Now I have a lot of joy. No, the joy of giving is much more subtler than joy of enjoying. And we also can enjoy, renounce and enjoy. How? We will discuss in next class. You think about it. How can I renounce and enjoy? Generally I do bhoga and enjoy. Yeah, tyaga and enjoy. And we are all scared of tyaga. Tyag. You tell anybody enjoy, take all this and enjoy, they will be very happy. You tell them leave and enjoy. No. How can I live and enjoy? I need to get and enjoy, acquire and enjoy. Think about it. And we will begin the new year with that. Renounce and enjoy. Tena tyaktena bhunjitha. Ma gridha kasya svidhanam. Don't covet anybody's wealth. Deeper details we'll see. So wish you all a very happy new year. Enjoy in a sattvic way. Invoke the new year by invoking the grace and blessings of the Lord. And let our vision be really new. That what is the new thing that we are going to do in the next year? How can we turn within more and realize the changeless truth? Then we go beyond old and new. Best. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vasishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om.